Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. This is your computer class and I hope you will be fine. So students, we are doing the DBMS keys and today we are going to discuss about some important keys like composite, secondary, sort and foreign key. So let's start. The first one is composite key. Composite key is basically consists of two or more attributes of a relation, that is called a composite. We can also say that concatenate key is also known as a composite key, okay, that is consisting on two or more attributes, so we can say that it's also known as a concatenate key, okay, as we know that concatenate means is the combination of two or more things, okay. So let's suppose a student relation contain different attributes, okay, like roll number, class ID, name, address, phone number, etc. Okay, so the attribute roll number and class ID, they both can be selected as a composite key, okay, because the both can be unique, so we can say that both can be used as a composite key. So the records of all the classes of a college or a school can uniquely be identified by applying this kind of the key, okay. The next one is basically about secondary key. So what is secondary? An attribute or set of attributes of a relation that is used to retrieve some specific data from a relation. We can say that it's a secondary key. Students, secondary key is also known as a non-unique field. As you know that we have to apply up keys on a column, means on a field, and column is also known as a field. So we can say that a non-unique field is basically known as a secondary key, means such kind of the key, such kind of the field or such kind of a column in which the data is we cannot say that the data is unique, okay, so the data could be not unique, okay, non-unique. So let's take an example. Suppose in a student relation the class ID field may contain the values like class ID means some of the students uh, have a ICS department, pre-medical, pre-engineering or different departments, okay. In a student relation multiple records may have a value like ICS in class ID field and so on. So what we have to do, we can say that in class ID the ICS that ICS field, the particular department that is student having, because many of the students can having the same department, so we can say that if most of the students are having same department and the data and the record is non-unique, then it could be a secondary key, okay. On that field we can apply a secondary key, okay. I'm repeating it again. The non-unique field or the non-unique column, okay, it's basically a secondary, we can say that it's a secondary key, okay. On that column we can apply a secondary key. Like if you are talking about a department that many of the students are having a same department like ICS is basically the department that you have to select in your intermediate level, so ICS pre-medical or pre-engineering, so we can say that such kind of the department are obviously could be a non-unique, okay, because many of the students can have chosen the same department. So such kind of the field, on such kind of the field we can apply a secondary key. Is that clear? The next one is basically about sort and control key. Sort or control means they both have the same meaning, or it's basically the same key. The attributes or the record of a table are stored in a different or in a sequenced way. Whenever we have to select or whenever we want to get some particular kind of the data, then what we have to do, we have to sort the data. Sort means arranging the data. Whenever you want to arrange your data, it's basically called sorting, okay. So sorting means you have to arrange your data in a particular sequenced form. So the record of a table are sorted based on the data of one or more fields An attribute or set of attributes that is used to sort the record of a table in a specific order, it could called a sort key. Basically, students, just take an example. If I have a table of an employee, or in employee table, I want to check the salary of all the employee. Okay, I want to arrange the salary, so I can sort it in a specific order. It's up to me. I can sort it in a ascending to descending order, or descending to ascending, means from greater to smaller, from smaller to greater. If I want to check the highest value, the highest amount, the highest salary value of an employee, then I can check like this. I have to sort it. Okay, I can sort that particular column, and I can sort in which order. I can sort like from greatest to smallest. So the first salary that could be available, that could be visible on that table, it could be a greatest salary, or the highest amount of that employee. Okay, so the purpose of sorting the data is just to check the particular condition according to your requirement. Okay, so students, we have to sort the table, we have to sort the data according to our different needs. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to apply the sort key on that table, on that column on which we are going to apply that key. Okay, the next one is basically about the foreign key. So students, in foreign key, it's basically, in this table we have a different kinds of the attributes, or a foreign key have a relation with one to one table, or we can say that with one to many table. It means that it not only consists on itself, basically it also consists, it depends upon the other table. So we can say that the foreign key is used to establish relationship between two tables, and the table relationship may be one to one relation, or it could be one to many tables. Okay, like over here, this relation is basically called one to one relation. Okay, so if we have more than one tables, then we can say that this table is basically having one to many relations. So in this table, what happened, now the table that contains the foreign key is basically called dependent table, and dependent or child table. Okay, what we can say that the primary key, we have to check the primary key. Okay, if the primary key, if we have a two tables, and one table is considered suppose student id and student id, both the tables consist on the same field, that is the student id. Okay, if this one table is if on one table, in this table, the student id could be considered like a primary key, then we can say that in the other table the same field name could be considered like a foreign key. So the foreign key table is basically, we can say that this table is basically the child table or dependent table. Okay, on the table in which we have to apply, we can say that the foreign key is applied. So such kind of the table is called a child table, and this table is basically also called the dependent table on that table. So this table is the independent table, or this table could also be called a parent table of this child table. Is that clear? So in this way we have to establish the relationship between one to one or one to many tables. Is that clear, students? Just keep in your mind, foreign key is basically applied, mean if we have the same attribute in two or more tables, or one table consists the primary key of that on that field, and the other table is consists the foreign key on that field. Okay, then we can say that on which table the foreign key is applied, foreign key is called the child table or dependent table, and the other table in which the primary key is applied is basically called the parent table of this child table. Is that clear? So it's what you have to do, you have to apply, you have to make a table of the student table, and you have to create the relationship, you have to establish the relationship between dependent or independent table. You have to tell that which table is basically called parent and which table is basically called the child table. Okay, students, these are all some of the important keys that we must have to learn about in DBMS. So what you have to do, you have to learn all the definitions, you have to learn the definition of all these keys, and you must have to know that which key is a super key, okay? Because in these keys we have learned all the basic kinds of the keys, but you must have to tell me that which key is basically called the super key, okay? So this is your task, and you have to send me your work on my number. Is that clear? Take care. Allah Hafiz.